everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. This is actually my first tutorial on cooking, so you all are my guinea pigs, but we're not serving guinea pigs today, I promise. Although, did you know that they eat guinea pigs in Peru, which kind of grosses me out, but that's exactly why. So anyway, if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell on it, and that'll allow you to get notifications of my future videos. So, the reason this is my first video is because, well, we're in a pandemic, right? So more trolls around, and I slightly panicked, as many people did, I'm sure. And I decided that I was taking life into my own hands, and I was going to plant a garden. Okay, guess what? Not very good at garden planting. I got green beans, a bunch of cherry tomatoes, and a ton of cucumbers. So, I realized that I'm not a huge fan of cucumbers. It's not that I don't like them, they just kind of get a little bland for me. But what I am a huge fan of is Greek food, Greek men, and Greek anything. And one of the things that the Greeks do the best is something called Tzatziki sauce. Okay, just to let you know, I had to look up the spelling of that and the pronunciation because this is probably the first time in my life that I've actually said it correctly. I generally refer to it as Titicaca sauce, which, believe it or not, Titicaca's a place, it's a lake in Peru. Evidently, it's the highest navigable lake in Peru, which, again, not really important. But so today, what we're going to do is we are going to create some tzatziki sauce from scratch. So I know when you start a new recipe, you always have a lot of questions. And you can watch all the YouTube videos you want, but if people don't address the questions you have, then you could get stuck. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it step by step, and I'm going to try to explain the ins and outs of why I'm doing it and what I'm doing and what the alternatives can be. I grew these short little chubby cucumbers. In all honesty, tzatziki sauce tastes best if you use an English cucumber. The difference between the English cucumber and the little chubby cucumber is that there are fewer or no seeds in the English cucumber, whereas the smaller chubby cucumber is filled with seeds. And the bigger the cucumber, the bigger the seeds. You really don't want seeds in your tzatziki sauce because you want it to be nice and smooth with all the different elements and not have to bite into little chunks of seeds. So in all honesty, while I love the fact that I grew my cucumbers by myself, this is a store-bought cucumber, 99 cents. So we're going to start by chopping the ends off the cucumber, because you don't want those in your recipe. And then you want to use about half of an English cucumber. You don't want to use the whole thing. You can keep the leftover and chop it up to use in your dip. Okay? So then we have to peel. Don't laugh about the way I peel. I know, slightly not normal. It's the whole left-handed thing, I think. But I finally found a peeler at a wonderful shop in a place called Northampton, Massachusetts, that actually allows me to peel without ripping my hands apart, which I've done on more than one occasion in the past. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grate the cucumber on the large side of the grater. Okay, the reason we're doing this is because we don't want it to be, your sauce to end up being lumpy. You do want to have some taste. You want to know that cucumber's there, but you do not want to have chunks. I know some people feel that you can chop your cucumbers, and that's an option too. If you don't have a grater, you can chop it. But you want them to be relatively fine because it's going to give you a better taste and a smoother consistency. I'm using full fat products to make my tzatziki sauce. Look at me. It's obvious I like full fat products. But anyway, the reason I'm using full fat products is that it's going to give you a nice, smooth, rich flavor. Because remember, most of the flavor is in the fat. It is what it is, kiddos. It is what it is. Okay, so once you have it grated, you want to add some salt. Not tons, but enough to draw the liquid out of the cucumber. The reason you want want to draw the liquid out of the cucumber is because you don't want to have sloppy, wet, drippy tzatziki. You want to have a nice, thick, toothy tzatziki. Oh, that sentence really fast. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're just going to set it aside while we prep the rest of the food to go along with it, or the rest of the ingredients to go along with it. Because it takes a few minutes for the salt to work to draw out that liquid. Okay, next thing you want to do is you want to chop up some fresh dill. Now you can use dried dill, but this is going to give it a little bit of a fresher taste. You're going to need a couple tablespoons, a tablespoon or two of the fresh dill. If you're using dry dill, it's going to take far less dill for flavor. So I'm just chopping it up nice and fine. And then we're going to put it in our little container. Set that aside for a second. The next thing we want to do is we want to prepare all of the little ingredients that go with it. We need a fresh lemon. You can use lemon juice out of the refrigerator, you know, the jarred kind. It's always nice to have a little fresh lemon juice. It keeps it nice and citrusy for the summer months. You don't need much. Oops, you didn't. My bad. You want, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon or two at most, but I wouldn't go past 2 tablespoons. But like I said, fresh is always better. Ingredients are always more exciting and more flavorful when they're fresh. Okay, let's put that to the side for the moment. And you're going to need a clove of garlic. You can use jarred garlic. I wouldn't panic about crushing your own garlic. The one thing you have to do though is you really need to have a very finely minced garlic. The last thing you want to do is bite into your vegetable and tzatziki sauce on it and get a big old hunk of garlic in it. So what I chose to do is to save time, I'm using jarred minced garlic, and you're going to use about a tablespoon of that or so. You're also going to use a tad, and when I say a tad, of cayenne pepper. Trust me on this. Teeny tiny bit, and when I say teeny tiny bit, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. It just gives it a little extra flavor. And you're going to need some salt. I would say, first go around, I would do a quarter teaspoon of salt. You can always add salt later. Salt to taste, as they say, salt to taste. And you'll also need about a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Again, seasoning works to who you are and what your level of taste is. You can make it saltier, you can make it spicier. Just work what you have, start with the basics, and then you can add a little bit more on top of that. Alright, so now comes the fun part. We're going to start preparing everything. In a bowl, I'm going to take about, I'm not getting too exact, but about 2 cups of full-fat Greek yogurt. Now, listen to the words I'm using here. Full-fat Greek yogurt. The reason I'm saying that is because our goal is to make a very creamy consistency with this project. Okay? And because of that, we're going to add in about half a cup of sour cream also. Again, full-fat sour cream. Here, listen. I know people like to cut corners, and I don't want to say cut corners, but be a little bit healthier. You don't have to use full fat. You can use reduced fat, but the fuller the fat, the more rich the flavor is going to be. So now we're going to add in our garlic. Our spices. Our couples of tablespoons of dill. What else do we have? Oh, we have a little extra virgin olive oil. I'd say about a tablespoon and a half. And then our tablespoon and a half of lemon juice. Okay, let's mix that up. color to it. Very creamy consistency. If you feel that you want a little bit more dill for the flavor, throw in a little bit more dill. Throw caution to the wind. It's just dill. The world won't end. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm kind of a dill fan, so I get this really great recipe for a dill-based potato salad. Maybe we'll do that one next. Time to bring back our cucumbers. Check this out. Look at all the liquid that has come out of the cucumbers in the past 10 minutes it took to get everything else ready. What we're going to do is, in a bowl, we're going to place a piece of cheesecloth. Okay, this is very old school. I'm old, okay? My mother used to use cheesecloth for everything. It's hard to find now. You can find it at the grocery store sometimes. I actually got mine at Home Goods. You don't have to use cheesecloth. You can use paper toweling as long as it's super absorbent. Or you can use a regular dish towel. Just make sure it's clean, and you really don't want any detergent in it because you don't want your cucumbers to taste like detergent. So what you do is you're going to put all your cucumber into the cheesecloth or towel or whatever it is you're using, and then you're going to create a ball out of it. And look what happens. It's raining cucumber. Hallelujah. Okay? So you want to get as much of that liquid out of there as humanly possible. And some more cucumbers. Okay, which is not a bad thing. And then we're going to take this dried cucumber, as the case would be, and we're going to put it in our mixture. Okay? And we're going to mix it in. The more the merrier. I love cucumber when it's in a dip. Or I like to dip cucumber. But look at the consistency of our tzatziki. If you buy tzatziki at a store, it's usually runny and drippy. You don't want it to be runny and drippy because you really want to be able to use this as a dip or on souvlaki or on gyros. See, I pronounced that correctly. I didn't say gyro like most of us do. But again, it's always worth a good trip to Greece to learn how to say some of the good things. But this is creating a nice, thick, rich, smooth sauce. Let's taste this. Wow. It's so smooth and so creamy. So amazing. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to cover this up and put it in the refrigerator for a few hours. Wow, I just can't get over how good it is. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for a few hours so it can set up. It is edible immediately, but it's a little warm right now, so a nice chilled tzatziki is wonderful to have. So after it's set for an hour or so, you want to take it from its original container and put it into something slightly more decorative. See, the consistency is nice and thick and creamy. And you should get about 3 cups, which is a pretty significant serving size. So you're going to fill up your little container. Take a little extra dill, just for garnish. Serve it with some fresh veggies, some fresh pita bread, some dried pita chips, whatever makes you happy. Okay, look, what a beautiful appetizer you have for friends and family when they come for a summer picnic or a summer dinner. Okay, before I end the video though, I just want to let you know that I created my tzatziki with dill. Other people do it different ways. If you don't want to use dill because you're not a fan of dill, you can use parsley. Just chop up your curly parsley from your garden or from the store, nice and fine. Or some others even use mint. I love mint, but it's an acquired taste for some people. So whatever makes you happy, take it, run with it, and I am going to take a little try here. Absolutely wonderful. Bon appetit, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in.